Welcome to this Tutor to You Sociology topic video on gender and crime, focusing on reasons for rising female criminality. In recent years, female criminality has remained steady, but over the past 50 years it has increased significantly, and sociologists look for changes in wider society to explain why this has occurred. According to the Ministry of Justice's research into women in crime, only 15% of arrests that are made are of women. But other details from this report look to support explanations of rising female criminality that are offered by sociologists. Of those in prison in 2017, 69% of women had a history of mental health issues at one point, and women in prison are also more likely to self-harm in comparison to males. Whilst only 15% of arrests are female, women constitute 26% of defendants and 27% of convictions in court cases. While 10% of males convicted face custodial sentences, the rate is only 2% for females, a clear difference between genders in the severity of offences and the rates of imprisonment. In this video, we'll apply some of the theories surrounding gender and criminality to explain these statistics. The first theory we can apply is that of Carlen's class and gender deals. Now, Carlen argued that women turn to crime due to their rejection of the class and gender deals that society offers them. While this theory is based upon the control of women in society, as those controls have reduced over time, it has led to increased rejection of these deals. And further evidence for this can be applied to Carlen's deals through examining the histories of women in prison, with more females being imprisoned with existing alcohol and drug problems than males, making them less likely to have accepted either the class or gender deals before turning to crime. A second application is that of Heidensohn-Control Theory. Like Carlen, Heidensohn suggested that the excessive controls on women forced them into socially desirable behaviours and limited their opportunities for criminality. Being controlled through work, home and in the public sphere was the norm at the time of Heidensohn's work, but changes in society have led to those controls being reduced. However, when examining the types of crimes that women commit, the most likely crimes for women to commit were linked to the home and making provision for the family. Significantly more women were prosecuted for not having TV licenses than males, and shoplifting is predominantly a female offence too. However, the greater independence of women in contemporary society can be seen as the most dominant form of crime for women to commit was offences against the person, with over 50,000 cases in the UK in 2019. A further explanation is Adler's liberation thesis. Now, Adler's liberation thesis suggested that the increase of women's criminality was due in part to the rise of second-wave feminism. Now, this had been criticised as those most likely to be influenced by feminism, the middle class, were also least likely to commit crime. However, over time, the increased liberation of women has moved through the class system and opened more opportunities to females to commit crime. This accounts for the rise in crimes by females, albeit females do still tend to commit different offences to males. Parsons' sex role theory may seem unlikely to explain the rising rates of female criminality, as according to Parsons, women should be less likely to become criminal because they're socialised into gender roles, particularly the expressive role. However, with changes to the process of socialisation and girls being socialised into being more assertive and being encouraged to adopt masculine characteristics, this can lead to increasing frustrations and aggressive behaviour. Furthermore, the strain of taking on both the instrumental and expressive roles can lead to deviant behaviours compared to the traditional gender stereotypes of being the perfect wife and mother. A final explanation for rising female criminality is the changing attitude of the police and courts to female criminals. Whilst ideas such as Pollock's chivalry thesis were once seen as dominant in the judiciary, with male control over the legal system, resulting in paternalistic concerns for women and a view of women as being less criminal than males and needing to be protected. In recent years, these views have changed. Not only has the legal profession become less male-dominated, as girls' aspirations have led to more females in the legal profession, but attitudes towards female criminality have changed. With moral panics over ladettes and girl gangs, the perception of females being less criminal has been challenged. This has led to the police widening the net when approaching crime. No longer are women presumed to be unable to commit crimes that once were seen as being the domain of males, and this has led to more arrests and more prosecutions of females. In evaluating the rise of female criminality, it has to be noted that despite a long-term increase, in recent years there's been a slight decline in female criminality, which may reflect changes in women's position in society. However, whilst overall crime for females is currently declining, there is a movement of women into crimes that were once seen as being part of the masculine domain, with increasing numbers of women being involved in organised crimes such as drug dealing and sexual crimes such as sexual offences and child abuse. However, these areas are still largely dominated by males. That concludes this Tutor to You Sociology topic video on gender and crime, looking at the rise of female criminality. Thanks for watching.